All right, lexical patterning. So basically, again, you're picturing a whole text and you're highlighting the words that relate. You're connecting them up. You're looking for superordinate. You're looking for hyponyms and also hyponyms, if you can remember the difference between those. And you're just kind of connecting them up. So we've got here semantic field of football, serving as the superordinate, is supported cohesively through the lexical patterning of the hyponyms drop, punt, own goal, and siren sounds, which is, of course, an entirely made up sentence, but you can see how each of these groupings give us a real structure that we can explore within our sentences. So simple patterning using the same word. So if you just kept saying cook, 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 cook within a recipe, that's simple lexical patterning. And then repeatedly using the same root word with its various forms is complex lexical patterning. So cook, cooking, cooked, uncooked, undercooked, overcooked. All of those would be complex lexical patterning. And again, you could use that within a sentence to make yourself, to sort of separate yourself from someone else who's just saying this is lexical patterning. Someone who says this is complex lexical patterning and then uses that superordinate and the hyponyms, hyponyms underneath that would obviously be a superior written response. So cohesion, C-A-S-H, collocation, antonymy, synonymy, and hyponymy. So A, S, and H are sort of very nested terms that sort of sit alongside one another. Antonyms, opposite, synonyms, same, similar. Hyponymy is what we're talking about when we talk about superordinate, and the hyponyms below. And collocation, words that always go together. Fish and chips never chips, and fish. And in fact, quite recently, I read an essay where a student had said that something did more good than harm. And I straight away assumed that they were saying the common collocation, which is more harm than good. But they were saying more good than harm, which I had to almost unpick, and my brain instantly went, yep, know what that is, file it away. And I had to go back and read it 3 times to actually understand what they were trying to say. So collocations, you might think, it's just easy, but if you break the rule, it's really kind of jarring for your reader. Semantic patterning is about meaning, denotation from the dictionary, connotation, what it means that is not literal. So all the things that pop into your head. Easy example, denotation, cool, the opposite of warm in the dictionary, whatever that would say. Connotations, someone who's hip, someone who's down, something an unfashionable teacher might say to say something's good. All those connotations are the kind of the socially acceptable context of that word. Semantic patterning. So basically, figurative language is a nice big concept. If you're using figurative language, that suggests something about the register, about what you're talking about. Metaphor, comparing two things that are unlike in a non-literal way. So if you say, Mr. Colbert is a giraffe, that's a metaphor because I'm actually not a giraffe, but I might be similar to a giraffe in some ways. Whereas a simile is comparing two quite similar things, and usually the words that we use are like or as. So if you say Mr. Colbert is like a giraffe, that's more towards a metaphor because they're two unlike things. But an easier metaphor would be something like, a simile, the clouds are like marshmallows. Very similar, not that challenging. If you said clouds are cataphoric references, now you're dealing with sort of metaphor territory where you were thinking, oh, okay, we've got to really think about that one. That's tricky. Personification, giving non-human feelings, giving human feelings to non-human things. So it can be anything. The stapler was depressed. The stapler had post-traumatic stress disorder, anything like that. Hyperbole, exaggerated or innate language, usually for emphasis. So you can think straight away, thinking politics is the kind of thing where that happens a lot. Then semantic patterning, you're thinking these all fall under wordplay. So previously that was a different category, but this is, we're thinking irony, oxymoron, puns, and lexical ambiguity. So irony, saying the opposite to what you think, calling a redhead in Australia bluey. Oxymoron, 2 words that sit side by side, generally specific, skinny fat, ugly beautiful. Those are all oxymorons. Pun could almost be any play on words, whereas lexical ambiguity is a specific type of the same effect. You wouldn't call it a subset of a pun, but it's basically when things are unclear. So if I say, if I'm sitting in a room with with a portable speaker and I say go play, am I saying go play sport? Am I saying go play the music? That's lexical ambiguity when you can do it on purpose or unintentionally.